Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Technology Tuesday, hosted by Out of the Box Technology. We're excited to bring you these free weekly webinars featuring what's going on here at Out of the Box Technology, tips and tricks from in and outside of QuickBooks, hot topics that our industry is encountering, and also every now and then we will feature some third-party apps that we're dealing with. My name is Jennifer, and I will be your moderator today. If you have any questions as the presentation is going along, feel free to chat those over to me via your question panel on the GoToWebinar controls. I'll be happy to answer those and pass those along to Donna as we go along. A little bit about Out of the Box Technology. If you haven't joined us yet for a Technology Tuesday, or if you just aren't quite sure who we are, well, we are a QuickBooks consulting firm. We do training, integration, hosting, and other various supports for all versions of QuickBooks. We have an extended bookkeeping service. We have a lot of bookkeepers on our staff that offer their services, as well as a whole development team that does website design and custom app development. Today, I'm very excited to have our Director of Sales, Donna Tenbush, on the line with me, and she and I are going to talk to you about what it looks like to become an out-of-the-box client. So if you are thinking about calling us for services, but you're not really sure like what the whole process is, what we offer, Donna and I are going to go over that today. So before we start taking any questions, I'm just going to introduce Donna, have her tell you a little bit about herself, and then start thinking about if there's anything specifically that you want Donna to address, and you can chat those questions over to us. So Donna, welcome.
Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you for asking me to fall in with this Technology Tuesday today. Glad to be here, glad to help out in any way to make our new and existing clients better understand how to become a client and the services that we can offer them. So I'm excited to talk with everybody today.
All right, so Donna, if someone is looking for QuickBooks help, you know, they just downloaded and purchased QuickBooks Online, let's say, for example, and they are looking at it and have no idea where to get started, what to even do. So they come across Out of the Box Technology and think that we're going to be a great resource for them and a solution for them. So they call up our sales line and you answer the phone with your cheery, wonderful voice. What does that conversation and process look like for that client?
Yeah, so first of all, we can absolutely, definitely help them no matter what their needs or goals are with their QuickBooks, whether they have QuickBooks yet or not. QuickBooks Online support, when you call into Out of the Box Technology, when you're Googling and you find our name and you call us, we're certainly going to determine what your needs are and your requirements are, where you're at in your current state of operations, what your goals are, what's working, what's not working, so that we can get on a higher level, a more deep dive of what your needs are, and then determine what the next steps are to help you. And then we'll move forward with that, whether it's financial cleanup or if you're doing a migration or you're just brand new to QuickBooks, whatever your needs are, we can certainly help you, whether it's online or desktop.
Okay, excellent. So that's good to know that, you know, no matter what version of QuickBooks you're either on or think you should be on, our consultants can really help point you in that right direction, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. No matter what you're using.
Now, what is the environment like once you're hooked up with a consultant? Do they come on site to help the clients, or how is that relationship between client and consultant?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jennifer, because a lot of people, when they call in, some may feel that they need an on-site person. Others say, great, I can't wait for you to just log in. I don't have time to wait for somebody to come on site or really have that time to acclimate or whatever else. They just want to dive in, get the problem solved, and back out again. For those that are thinking that they have to have an on-site appointment, we really like to educate you a little bit further on why we work virtually instead of coming on site. And the number one reason is it's a better appointment for the client, for you yourselves, because when we come on site, we're the ones in front of your computer. So we spend an awful lot of time shuffling the computer back and forth and the chair back and forth trying to figure out what you're showing us, and then you're behind us looking at what we're trying to teach you, and it just doesn't really work really well. So when we log in, we're both right in front of your computer screen, and we're sharing the mouse back and forth, which is getting a lot more efficient and getting a lot more stuff done at that time.
Yeah, and I think another thing that our clients really love about that process is if, the meeting is ended for the day, you spent a couple hours or whatever with some training or whatnot, and then we close the meeting. An hour later, you're like, oh, I have another question really quickly. It's an easy way for the consultant, right, to just jump back in and continue helping versus they've already drove an hour back to the office and there's all this travel time. It makes it a lot more efficient, right? Wouldn't you say, Donna, on just those like little quick helps that our consultants can do when we work remotely?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They can always send an email. Email is always better because, we do work by appointment. So when we're done with yours, we may have another client waiting for us. So if you send an email and say, I forgot what you just told me, or can you answer a quick question, we'll certainly be able to respond by email very quickly. And if we have to do a follow-up call or appointment, we'll get that scheduled promptly as well. Absolutely.
Excellent. So we have a question coming in here from Doug, and he's wondering, how do you know what I want? Do I email you all my information?
So Doug, great question. And being the director of sales, so I take 90% of the incoming new clients or even existing clients. You can email what your needs are in case I can't get to you right away, and then I'll email you back. Great, Doug, thanks for reaching out. Can you give me 10 minutes and I'll call you right away? The reason I like to talk to you is because some people text or email what your cost is. We have so many different services that we want to be able to quote you properly. And it also depends on what your needs are of who we would put you with to get the problem resolved. So there's a lot that goes into determining what your needs are, and then a quote getting out to you so that we can get the project started. Otherwise, we just shuffle back around 5, 6, 7 emails instead of really getting, right down to the point of it with your initial phone call. So I'd prefer a phone call.
I think so, too, as well, just to echo that, Donna, is getting on the phone, it's a lot better to just chat back and forth versus having 100 emails going back and forth and, just reading into things differently. So I think that initial phone call is really important. And then a step beyond that, can you touch on our business consultation that usually most clients begin with?
Yeah, absolutely, Jennifer. We begin 90% of our new clients with a business consultation due to the fact that we want to make sure that we're all on the same page of how we're moving forward. So it's a one-time project call, if you will, and it can either move forward and turn into a project or end right there. So in other words, we're giving you the tools that you need to whatever your problem was. We're resolving it by giving you, your tools that you need to make that happen. Or once we determine what needs to be done, we can build that out and give you a quote to move forward on a project. So the business consultation is a much higher level, more deep dive of where you're at today and where you want to be, what's working, what's not. Maybe you just did a migration and nothing came over properly, or your bookkeeper left and your financials are a complete mess and nothing's mapping properly from your inventory. Whatever the case is, the higher level is going to determine what's working, what's not. We're kind of the doctors of the system. We're going to draw the blood and find the good, the bad, the ugly. Let's talk about what's working, what's not. And now the bigger part is, what do we need to do to fix this? And from there, we'll create that timeline and roadmap of who's going to do what, how long the project, the implementation looks like, and what the costs are. You don't really want to start quoting workout without having this blueprint, because without that in front of you, then everybody's just guessing. Oh, it could be a 5-hour project, maybe a 7-hour project. We're pretty black and white. Once we determine what needs to be done, that's what we're quoting.
Awesome, thank you.
And that's our business consultation. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so with the business consultation, who from the client side do we typically recommend be on that call? I mean, should it just be the office manager, or are there any specific people that really should be on that call in order to make sure that all information is covered and answered?
Yeah, so every call is different. Every client is different. Some is, some have one person, the owner that's running the operation. Some, it could be the CFO that runs the whole place himself. What is most important is whoever is on the higher level and that has any input on what we're doing, whether it be the infrastructure or the business consultation on the QuickBooks end or the third-party application, that actually has input on what we need to do to develop this project. So that's a good question. Anybody else that needs to be on the call, but it doesn't always consist of 2 and 3 and 5 people. Sometimes there's 1, sometimes there's 10. So whatever, we'll get to that when we're talking to you on who should be on the call once we determine what the call's about and who's all in the office that has an input on it. But then when we email you that meeting invite, if there's anybody else that you need on the call, we could certainly email that to them because a lot of people are remote. So we work with people from here to China all day long, and they might have 6 or 7 people all over the country on the call. And it works out really well because our business consultations generally last about an hour. And we know this because we do them every single day. So we always set an hour aside, give or take a couple minutes before or after, depending on, the complexity of the conference call. It could involve, a lot of inventory, multiple warehouses, it varies, but we know that typically a business consult, we can get a lot of work done in the first hour.
Excellent. So the next question I have here is, I was an out-of-the-box client years and years ago. I haven't talked to you in some time. What would be my next steps now if I want to get on board again?
Just call us. We'll be happy to service you. And I would be surprised if we hadn't reached out to you already. Just kind of, maybe that's where you found us again, saying, wow, I just got this newsletter, or I got an email from Jennifer or somebody on your team, which struck me. I have been wanting to do this for a year or 2 now, and now I'm finally back on board. So just call us, send an email. We're on it. We'll call you right back. We'll get you out another initial client engagement letter that really is just authorization for us to work together, because usually we're into all of your company information, or if it's a financial project where we're doing financial cleanup or anything, we're going to be into all of your company financials. So we always have a client engagement letter on file, just authorizing us to work together.
Awesome. Thank you. And speaking of that, Donna, I'm glad you touched on that. It's something that really is part of our process here at Out of the Box Technology is once you are a client of ours and, we've done your business consultation, we've done a project and the project was successful, and, now you're out doing business again, we don't forget about you. So we're always going to be touching base, every couple of months, just making sure everything's still going well for you. I know everyone is super busy, especially business owners. So you may forget about us, but we definitely don't forget about you as our client. And even a lead, if you reached out to us and had some questions, but it really never went into anything, we will be reaching out to you and just making sure that, your business is as successful as it can be. So whether it's a QuickBooks checkup or just kind of reminding you about the services that we have, we're always here for our clients and potential clients if you need anything. So we'll never forget about you, right, Donna?
Right, which brings to the point of talking about servicing you years ago and then coming back to us. We have, in our business model, what our business model is to make sure that we step back and meet all of your needs. We like to listen to what your wants and requirements are to run that business. And yesterday, it may have been something different than it is today. So today, you may have called us for financial cleanup because you have to file your taxes. So everybody scrambles, and trust me, we know this. We do this from November until April every year, and we don't eat, sleep, or breathe until after April 15, right, Jen? I mean, all of you guys are running, everybody's running and scrambling and trying to get their books cleaned up so they can file their taxes. So what we always suggest, once we get you all cleaned up, is that we try to be that separate pair of eyes for you on a either bi-weekly or monthly basis, and just kind of peek in for maybe 15 minutes, a half hour, whatever it is, to make sure that everything's being matched properly and tracked properly and taxes are set aside properly. That way, at the end of the year, you're not spending 5 hours with us and costing a lot more than it should be, should you have had us all year long. So we really are out for your best interest, even though we love doing your financial cleanup at the end of the year. It's just to give you much better reporting all year long, and instead of waiting till the end of the year. And that goes with anything. A lot of people at the beginning of the year want to migrate to a new system, or they want to update their existing system, or they don't want to pay for their infrastructure to get rebuilt. Like you might have an old server in-house, or you might have some Windows and some Mac computers, and nothing's just really working. We have hosting for you guys for that, so then you don't have to worry about your infrastructure. Anybody that wants to work on a Mac can, or a Windows can, and you can also work virtually from anywhere, being in the cloud. So those are options for you guys as well when you're working with a lot of bogging down systems and everybody's getting kicked out, but you're dealing with it because you don't want to spend tens of thousands of dollars updating your infrastructure. We have the option for you there. It's covered as well.
Yep, absolutely. And that's something else that you'll receive as a new client is we have put together a whole services offering packet, if you will, for lack of better words. I know that packet sounds like such a dated thing now in the virtual world, but we will send you just a list of all the services that we offer. So not something that you have to read, before you become a client, but just something to have in the back of your mind, because there's a lot that we offer here at Out of the Box Technology that not everyone is totally aware of, especially if you're just coming to us for a financial cleanup or you need a bookkeeper. Well, did you know that we also, like Donna said, offer the hosting services? We do website design, we do app development. And again, those are different Technology Tuesdays that we're going to focus on, so I'm not going to dive too deep into that today. But that new client packet really just kind of highlights some of those things. So like I said, if you didn't know that we offer those services, we are there for you in different ways to help you, besides the initial thing that you may have came to us for.
Excellent. And I wanted to touch also, Jennifer, of why we stand out from a lot of others. So we're a pro advisor. We actually wrote the certification for Intuit. For every pro advisor nationwide to even become a pro advisor, they took our certification. So we also wrote a lot of the training manuals for Intuit. As you know, everybody comes to us for help because there are no manuals. So we've written a lot of those for them as well. We test a lot of the product before it even goes to market. So we've been doing this a very long time. So what really separates us from a lot of people is our main objective and our main business model is really to take care of our clients, making sure that we're saving you guys a lot of money. So unlike your Verizon or your cell phone company, they're never going to call you and say, guess what, I have a special going on today. You've been paying $100 and $170 a month, and now we want to reduce that to $80. Intuit won't do that either. We do that. We watch when your product is getting old and how to save you money instead of just getting on an automatic renewal. What we can do to save you money and time, and most importantly, streamline and automate your processes so you do spend much less time trying to figure things out, which then again will give you a lot more time internally to run your business.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jennifer, for touching on that. Because there are so many options out there, right, for people to get help, and we really are set apart because of that. We have leaders at the helm of Out of the Box Technology who have been in this industry for so long and really have the client interest as number one. So thank you for touching on that.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm just going to remind again, open it up if anyone has any specific questions for Donna or myself on what it means to become an out-of-the-box client, if there are certain topics you want us to talk about in that process, or, what it looks like 6 months down the road, 2 months down the road, 1 week down the road, any of that. So I'll just pause for a few moments if anyone has any specific things that you would like us to touch on that we haven't addressed yet, or questions about anything we have addressed. We have a quiet group today.
I just wanted to mention one thing while we're waiting to see if there are any other questions. Touching back again on the uniqueness of us, there's a lot of QuickBooks experts out there that's all they do. Again, when Jennifer was touching on the app and hosting and all those other services, we find a lot of clients that are going to 3 and 4 and 5 different places, and they get very confused on who they call when they have an issue. So if they can't log into their QuickBooks, they call Intuit, and then Intuit says, oh, you might want to check with your internet provider. So they call them and it's not down, and so they just keep running around in a circle. When you work with us, we have all of that under one roof. I mean, there's a lot of us that, are under one, I'm just saying our team, we have those services all under one roof. So whether you're just looking for bookkeeping today and next year you want to migrate your QuickBooks from a desktop to the online, and then the next year you might want to host, or you might need T-sheets for your time tracking, which is, if you can Google that and then call us for any additional information on that. It's a new time tracking tool that saves you a huge percentage on cost and time doing payroll in-house anymore. So just all those services, we have all that under one roof. So anytime you have any issues whatsoever, you make one phone call and it's handled. So we always have somebody that can take care of anything in your entire accounting and IT solution. That's a very important part right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, I don't see any other questions coming through from our audience today. So Donna, if you had any other final thoughts or comments before we start to wrap up here?
No, I'm good. If everybody else is good, great. Thanks for joining us today, and thanks for having me, Jennifer.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Donna. And if you are ready to, jump on with us here at Out of the Box, or if you have any more questions beyond what we've gone over today, or if you hang up and you're like, oh yeah, I had a question, you can feel free to reach out to us. You can email us at sales@ootbtechnology.com or give us a call. Like I said, we've got a great team that's ready to answer the phone and start talking to you. So thank you all so much for joining us today. And as I mentioned, we are here just about every Tuesday for Technology Tuesdays. Next week, we'll have Josh, who's our hosting manager. He'll be on the line with us to go over our hosting services. Donna did touch on that quite a bit today, just as one of our other services that we offer. So if you have any questions about that, what it is, you're not even sure what we're talking about, are we hosting a party or what's hosting? So jump on with us next week and we'll dive into that. And then we have one of our great friends over at Avalara that's going to jump on with us in 2 weeks. And then we have a Recur 360 quarterly update. Recur 360 is a great product of ours that is a solution for recurring invoices and payments and collections. So that app is constantly being updated and improved. So we're excited to offer the quarterly update for Recur 360. And then later in May, our bookkeeping manager will be on with us to talk about our bookkeeping services, more specifically, the solutions that we can offer when it comes to bookkeeping, and what our bookkeepers do. So we hope you can join us for any or all. Again, they're all completely free. We hope to see you there. You can register on our website. Just visit our blog under Technology Tuesdays. If you had a topic or something specific that you want us to present on, find an expert on for you, email me, Jennifer@ootbtechnology.com, and I will track someone down and we will make sure to get your topic on the next Technology Tuesday available. So again, I thank everyone for joining us today who joined us live. Thank you for your questions. If you're watching on demand, thank you for joining us on your own time. And again, if you had any questions, you can email me directly. You can send an email over to our sales inbox, which is just sales@ootbtechnology.com, or give us a call. So thank you again, and we hope to see you again soon.